Hello everyone. Good morning. I just got out of bed and getting ready for the day. And I was thinking this morning about the conversation that I've had just last night with a friend. And we're talking about overwhelm as an entrepreneur, right? So, do you ever feel overwhelmed? As a business owner, as entrepreneur, do you feel like you are doing all the right things to grow your business? You are on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. You are blogging, maybe you are doing webinars and networking and SEO and updating your website. But there is always something new to do when you are in business. And everyone tells you that everything is 100% necessary, that if you don't have the most beautiful website, you're not going to get clients, that if you're not on all the social media platforms, your business is going to fail, the blogging is making a comeback. And so if you don't pick up blogging now, you're going to be left behind and all these things, right? And it can be so overwhelming, especially when you are starting out, especially when you are a solopreneur or you have a very small team, just you and a VA. It can feel so overwhelming trying to do all these things because you literally make to feel like if you drop something, if you don't do everything, then your business is going to fail. And so you try to do everything just like me. And before you know it, like this is a very common stage that every entrepreneur goes through. Before you know it, you are having dinner and lunch at your desk every day. You're staying up late every night because there's always one last thing to finish and one last email to reply to. And you basically start working weekends and start working evening. And you started your business because you wanted to spend more free time with your family, with your children. And now you realize that, oh wow, you have no free time. And so this is something so common, something that every entrepreneur goes through. So are you in the same stage? Do you ever feel like, oh my God, I'm doing too much? I do that for myself. I feel overwhelmed. And maybe deep down, you are even afraid, like you're even wondering whether it was all worth it, what entrepreneurship is really the right step for you, right? And so if you feel like that, I want you to know that this is a very common stage, and I have been there so many times. Particularly this summer was the last time that I went through that because I was up leveling my business, I was scaling my business, and I was doing so many things. There are some point my body was like, Georgia, you need to take a break, and that's part of the reason why you didn't see me so much over here in the summer because I actually felt like I need to take a step back and look at all the things that I am doing in my business and whether all the things that I'm doing are actually in alignment with what I want to create and the business that I want to build, or whether I am just doing busy work, right? And so do you ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like, oh my God, I wish I didn't have to be on this channel. I wish I didn't have to worry about that. I wish I could just focus on these 1 to 3 things that I know are going to help me move the needle forward. And so here's what no one tells about overwhelm, because I could give you the strategies, right, to deal with overwhelm. But if you don't know what overwhelm is and where it comes from and why it should up in your business, then guess what? It's going to showing up again and again and again and again. Like, for example, just to give you an example, like last year, I worked with a Marie Kondo expert, right, to organize my closet, and everything was perfect for like 2 or 3 months. And after that, my clothes just went back to being messy as it used to be. And this is so common because even the expert told me that sometimes that happens. Some people just go back to what they used to be because you can have the strategy to organize your closet or to organize your business. But if you don't address the root cause, then it's going to go back to the mess and the overwhelm that was there before. So do you resonate with that? And so what is overwhelm? Overwhelm is just misalignment. Overwhelm happens when you are doing too much of the right things and too little of the right things. And so, okay, one common mistake that I see most entrepreneurs make, especially when they're starting out or they're trying to scale to the next level, is to add more, to add one more strategy, to add one more social media platform, to add more products to their suite, to add more at their clients' avatars, and trying to market to everyone more, because you think that in order to grow, you must do more. So write more in the comments if that is you. Write more if you think that you need to do more and more and more, work more, do more, be on more places in order to succeed and be on the next level. And that's misalignment. That's misalignment. That is confusion, because the more you add, the more you take your focus away from what you actually are meant to be doing. Now, don't get me wrong, like if you are a huge business, and you have like lots of team members, and you can afford to have one team member or a team just for Instagram, and one team member just for LinkedIn, and one team member just for Facebook, and all these things. Like if you are so big, you can afford to have an expert working on every marketing strategy, then great. But most people, most solopreneurs, they don't have that. I know that when I started out, I did not have that. It was just me. And at some point, after a few years, I hired a virtual assistant that was helping me like 3 or 4 hours a week. So I didn't have, and still now my business is not so big that I can afford to have someone just for Instagram, and someone just for Facebook, and someone just for this, and someone just for that. And so when you're starting out, when you're a solopreneur, when you have a very small team, you need to be very laser focused on the things that are going to help you move your business forward. You need to know exactly who your client is, what you're offering, what you're selling, and where your clients are, so you can market to them on the channel, right? And so when you are confident, when you are confident that you are in alignment, when you are confident that you know what the steps are to get the results that you want, that is more money, more clients, launching a podcast. When you are confident what the steps are, then when someone else comes in, when a guru comes in and tells, oh, but you should add this other thing, you're like, no, thank you. I am a plan. I'm just gonna stay focused on the plan. And yeah, the plan may be hard to implement. Even when you have a simple plan, there are going to be times when you will lay lunch at your desk and you may have to stay up one night, but it's not constant. You're not on this roller coaster. Oh my God, I always have to do this one more thing, or my business is going to fall apart. So it's going to be like, okay, tonight I get to stay up a bit later, knowing that the next day I can go back to my shadow, because I have a plan. As long as I stay focused on the plan, yeah, there will be hustly moments, but mostly I can go at an even pace and get my result fast, because I am laser focused on the thing. But when you are overwhelmed, when you're confused, when you're trying to add more, that comes from a place of lack. That comes from a place of fear. And so what is underneath that? Why do you feel the need to add more to your business? I can share my story. So, because I go through this, right? Busy work and overwhelm is one of my sabotaging patterns. That every time I am up leveling, I need to be on the lookout for it, because I have the tendency of doing more to actually avoid doing the things that I know would propel my business forward. And so, in my case, like a few years ago, I was doing all the things that I was making good money, but I was making, I think it was 5K at that point, and I wanted to go to 10K, right? And so I was doing all the things that I I was doing all the things that the gurus were telling me to do. So I had gotten to that 5K through, again, through my writing and through my blogging and through Pinterest. And I had a strategy that was working so well. And then at some point, as I started to go to the next level, and I didn't know how to get there. I never been to 10K months before. So as I was trying to get there, I started looking for the answer outside of me. And I started looking for coaches and experts and business strategists that were telling me how to get there. And before you know it, I was doing literally all the things. I was on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and I was doing webinars, I was doing marketing and SEO and blogging and so many things that I honestly didn't even have the time for them. I was doing all the things, but I was doing all the things inconsistently because I couldn't keep up with anything. I was juggling so many balls in the air that I was always again having lunch at my desk and staying up late at night and working weekends, and still I was dropping balls everywhere. And I realized through working with a coach, because I knew that when I was in this space for a few months, that I was like, oh my God, I'm doing all the things, and everyone is telling me I'm doing the right things, but yet I don't get the results. Nothing is growing. And I could draw myself insane trying to figure it out. Or I could work with a coach and fast track and get to the root of it really quickly so that then I could shift that and get results. And so that's what I did. I worked with a coach, and it came out that I had a big fear of success. So at the time, I had a boyfriend, and we were making pretty much the same amount of money, which interestingly was also the same amount of money that my dad was making. And so it's very interesting that my income started growing at that number, right? And what came out is that I was afraid, like being educated as, I come from Italy. It's still like, at least in the 80s when I was born, in the 90s when I was a teen, even at an extent, it's a very patriarchal society where I always seen growing up, in primary school, for example, all the moms, they were housewives, they were stay-at-home moms, and the dads were working, right? So that's what I saw. I saw my mom and I saw her friends giving up their career to support their men. And so I knew I didn't want to do that. That's why I started the business and I was doing well. But at the same time, that was programming in my mind. The programming in my mind was that a good woman, a good girlfriend, a good wife, she takes the back seat. She can be successful, but not as much as the man. And so I was worried, subconsciously, I was worried that if I was making more money than my partner at the time, that if I was to surpass him in income, to overcome him, that he wouldn't like me anymore. I wouldn't be a good girlfriend. He wouldn't like me, and then he would leave me. And so that's why I got stuck in busy work. Like logically, my brain was telling me that I was doing all the right things to do my business. But when I looked at results, I was spreading myself so thin that nothing had the chance to grow. And so I always had the same income level where it was safe. Because at that income level, I felt confident that my partner wouldn't leave, that people wouldn't think that I was a bad person because I was making more money than my partner. And so I had to break through that belief and reframe that I can be successful and I can be loved. I can make more money and I can still be in a great relationships and still let people love me. And so that was the work. So the work was because I also knew, it's the thing, I also knew even though I was stuck in busy work, I also knew what I had to do to grow my business. And it was collaborations, it was partnership, it was stopping to learn working and try to grow everything myself and grow to partnerships, speaking engagement, webinars with other people, referral partnerships. And that was the only thing, that I was not doing, because I was spreading myself so thin that every time that I said, "Oh, I should actually reach out to so and so for a partnership," my brain was kicking in like, "Well, you still haven't done Instagram, and you still haven't done Pinterest, and your website is a mess." And so my brain was giving me stuck in busy work, and giving me doing too much of the wrong things and not enough of the right things, because it knew that once I started working with other people and doing partnership, my income would skyrocket. My income would actually go up. And when it went up, I would have to face the fear. In that moment when my income went up, I would know if I would still be loved, if I would still have a boyfriend or not. And of course I did. Once I increased my income, my partner didn't leave me. In fact, when I talked to him about how I was scared that if I grew too much, he would leave me, he said I was like, he was shocked because he never said those things to me. He never did anything to make me believe that. This is a story that came from my childhood, from seeing women in my childhood, like taking a second, like taking a step back, like being the support for the husbands and their partners, but not actually being more successful than them. And so when I realized this, when I realized what my fear was, and I reframed it into I can be successful, I can still be loved, I was able to drop the busy work, drop a lot of social media stuff, a lot of other stuff that really, when I looked at results, they did not help me to bring me clients, they did not help me to grow my audience, they literally did not help with anything. And I'm not saying that those things don't work. They can work if you go all in with them. But when you spread yourself so thin, then nothing really works. And when I look at the data, when I looked at what worked before and the things that were doing well, again, blogging was doing well, Pinterest was doing well, and I knew that the next step, the next stage was partnership, right? And so that's what I did. When I realized what was really good, and when I realized what was at the root of my overwhelm, I was able to break through the sabotage and go to the next income level while still having the best relationships in my life. And so that's what I mean. Like, I can give you the strategies to manage the overwhelm. I can give you the strategy to manage your time so you can get more done and be more productive. But getting more done, be more productive, it doesn't mean that you will reach your goals if you're working on the wrong things. And that feeling of overwhelmed, the feeling of there's always one thing that needs to be done, and if I don't do it, everything will fall apart. That is sabotage. That means that you are focusing on the wrong things, so instead of the thing that you know deep down, because I know you know what's the one thing that is going to help you go to the next level. And you're not doing it, you're not giving yourself permission to do it because you're scared of what might happen once you get there. And so go underneath that. Get clear on what the thing is and work on that, because I can guarantee you when you start working on that belief, when you start healing the sabotaging pattern, then you will be able to ditch the busy work without feeling overwhelmed. You will be able to have a clear plan of action that is just very, very simple, one or two strategies that you can implement consistently every day, no, without feeling like you're missing out, because you know that is the next step for you. You know that that is what is going to help you get the result that you want. And so, if you are ready to ditch busy work, if you are ready to ditch overwhelm, and if you are ready to identify what it is that is keeping you stuck in busy work and overwhelm and spinning your wheels, then I invite you to join the Leadership Advantage. This is the work that we do. This is the work that in the program is a proven system. It is a step-by-step system that helps you identify exactly what the roots of your self-sabotage is and how to break through that so you can finally stop doing what's not working and focusing on what's working and doing that consistently and finally get the results that you want. And it's a program that it uses practical mindset strategies and a lot of accountability. So what do I mean by that? I can give you the strategies again to manage your time and to manage overwhelm, but that's not gonna work. If you are stuck in this pattern over and over again, you can't get out of it, you need a proven system to get out of that that goes beyond reframe limiting beliefs, that goes beyond doing affirmations, that goes beyond doing visualizations, because that works only to a certain extent. Because I know so many people, and I used to be one of them, they are doing this mindset work every day. They are questioning where does the story come from, and repracticing limiting beliefs, and telling themselves positive thoughts And then they keep falling back into the same sabotaging patterns. And when it takes time to take action, when it takes time to drop busy work, when it takes time to do the one thing that you are avoiding doing right now and that you know is going to get you to the next level, whether it be in doing lives, whether it is studying every day, whatever it is for you, launching a podcast, whatever it is for you, you get stuck. You are doing all this massive work, but when it comes time to actually take the action, take the practical action to break through the sabotaging pattern, you just freeze and you go back to doing what you know. And so to do this work, it takes a lot more than just um, positive thinking and affirmations, visualizations. There is step one. But after that, you need to learn to manage your emotions because it is your emotions that trip you up. Because you can tell yourself all day long the right thoughts to go to your next level. But then when you're about to do it, your emotions are gonna, the fear, the uncomfortable feeling, they are going to come up. And if you don't know how to manage that, they are going to derail you and take you back to your comfort zone and to your self-sabotaging patterns. And so you need a proven system to help you manage those emotions and to become the person who can achieve those goals, who can become the person who is not afraid to do lives every single day, who is not afraid of selling every single day, who is not afraid to do whatever it is that you're avoiding doing right now. And that takes proven system, that takes accountability, that takes learning to manage your emotions, that takes much deeper mindset, it takes practical mindset work. There's a lot of work like visualizations, affirmation, they stay here, they stay in your head. And you need a way to just manage your emotions and just do it anyway. You need a way to get out of that freeze mode. You need a way to get out of unstuck mode and be able to do the things that makes you uncomfortable without again being paralyzed. Because guess what? The nerves will always be there. When you do something for the first time, the nerves will always be there, but they don't have to paralyze you. They don't have to freeze you. And so if that's where you are, if you're doing all the mindset work and you still are stuck, when it's time to take action, you find yourself going back to self-sabotage, then you need the leadership advantage. This is the missing piece that no one tells about. And once I started doing this work with my clients, I saw massive results, and they started reaching in 3 months, sometimes even in 2 months results that before it took them like months, if not a year to get. So if you know that you need this work, and comment ready in the description box below, and let's get you started. Let's get you started. So I can't wait for you to do this work, because when you learn to manage mentally your overwhelm, you can finally ditch busy work and reach your goals much easier and much faster than you ever thought possible. So let's do this. Bye for now.